Hey guys, welcome back. It's Claytano. Thank you so much for tuning in as always. And today's video is going to be a lot different from my normal content because today I'm going to teach you guys how I personally went from making $0 a year on YouTube and Twitch into making over $250,000 a year on YouTube and Twitch. And the reason why I want to make this video is because as I've been grinding out this career, this job, whatever you guys want to call it, for the past 4.5 years, I was always looking for other content to help give me information on what I should and shouldn't be doing. And it just always came up a little bit lackluster. And the thing that stood out to me the most was that all of the most popular people giving advice on YouTube on how to create an audience on YouTube created their own audience by teaching people how to create an audience. They didn't actually create their audience genuinely by actually putting their words into action. So something that I want you guys to be aware of is that their information isn't necessarily incorrect. There's a lot of correct information out there, but they're most likely getting it from someone else who has gone that path and not actually taking that path themselves, okay? So like I tweeted out not too long ago saying that I should make an online course teaching people how to make money online by creating an online course that teaches people how to make money online. And that's literally so many different industries out here right now that people are just making a whole bunch of like money and content on right now. And I just want you guys to be aware that if people are making a course and their sole audience is coming by teaching people how to do something that they themselves haven't actually done, it's just, you guys understand, it's a little bit hard to like wrap your head around, but it should be easy to understand if you understand what I'm talking about. Okay, enough of that. Let's get into the actual content of the video. Now, one thing I'm not going to ask you guys to like this video or subscribe, but what I would like you guys to let me know is by commenting down below if you would like a full-on course, free YouTube course. Now, I'm not going to charge you guys any money for it because that's not how I roll, but it's going to be a free YouTube course where I would just post regular videos like once a week or something, and I would teach you guys the very detailed things that go on behind the scenes and how to create your own YouTube channel, and then how to go about bringing that over to Twitch and making you guys some lot of cash. And this is a very surefire method that everybody and anybody can do. It's not a luck chance type course that I'm going to teach you guys. It's going to be a very calculated step-by-step process that'll actually get you to where you guys want to be, if that is where you want to be. So again, comment down below if that's something that you guys would be interested in, because I do read all the comments and make content based on who's actually watching me. So if that's something that you like, let me know. If not, let me know. So if however many views I get on this video, I should have that many comments. I know it's not going to be anywhere close, but I'd appreciate it if you try. Okay, so how did I start off on YouTube? Okay, here's how I started off on YouTube, and I'm going to give you guys my story on how I went from $0 to $250,000. It's actually fairly simple step by step, but again, I'm going to go more in detail in later videos. So the first thing that I did when I started making content on YouTube, I didn't have a Twitch, I didn't have a Twitter, I didn't have an Instagram. I think I had an Instagram, but it wasn't for like content purposes. I used to play professional hockey, and my buddies and I created an Instagram and Twitter, and I wasn't like trying to be an influencer by any means. It was just like social, like a Facebook basically, right? So I didn't start using that to my advantage for making money till later on. So that's basically just toss that aside for now. Okay, so the first thing I did when I was creating content was I didn't start creating content because I thought I could make money at it. Okay, that's, I think, the number one mistake that a lot of people are making these days. They see Ninja, they see Shroud, they see these guys making millions of buku dollars every year, and that's their motivation to actually start getting into content creation. Your motivation to start getting into content creation should be the fact that you actually enjoy making content and actually enjoy playing video games. There's a lot of people out there that go into this thinking, I would much rather play video games than do what I do currently. And they don't really like playing video games either. They just would rather do video games than what they do currently. And what happens is, if you're not fully invested into it and your heart's not in it, you're not going to get very good results. So if you are not passionate about content and interacting with viewers and playing video games, or like just making content, it's not even you don't even have to play video games, but just making content specifically, if you're not passionate about that, then it's going to feel like a normal job to you, and you might as well just go do something else that has a little bit more stable income and you don't have to work as hard. Because let me tell you, the most common misconception is that all you have to do is play video games, turn the camera on, and the money's just going to start rolling in. That is not the case. So if that's what you're looking for, unsubscribe, go somewhere else. Seriously though. So yeah, make sure you guys are passionate about it, and really be honest with yourself. Be honest, because I was honest with myself. I didn't even know that making money on YouTube was a thing when I started making content on YouTube. Okay, this is before the whole ninja boom. I call it the ninja boom because literally ninja, whether you like it or not, changed the industry for, I would say, the better, because he brought a lot of mainstream media into it, and he brought a lot of eyes and a lot of advertisers and a lot of just big stuff to the gaming and YouTube industry that hasn't been there in the past. So I started making content before this whole revolution started, okay? So my first video was when I was actually growing up as a young hockey player. I made a hockey video and I put it on YouTube. And my parents were like, oh, that's great and all, but like, get back out there and keep practicing. You know, you're not going to get anywhere with editing videos. You're not going to get anywhere playing video games, is what they also told me as well. So I was very limited on how much time I could spend on the internet every day, which was 2 hours. And then if I was bad, I would get 0. And then if I was like semi like okay, good, then I would get 1 hour of internet per day. Okay, so fast forward a little bit to when I was actually in college. I didn't have enough time to play computer games, so I ended up starting to play some mobile games, and I really enjoyed one of them. And if you guys have played multiplayer online games, you'll know that you meet people in game and you start to build a bond with them if you're in like a guild or whatever else. And so a lot of people were saying, hey Clay, you should make a video on this topic. I think we would really enjoy it, and you know, I'll do it basically. And so what happened was I ended up dropping out of college after my first semester. I was up there playing hockey in Massachusetts, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go home and, you know, be with my girlfriend at the time, who is now my wife. And I started working like some part-time jobs, and I was like, you know what? I'll make a video on YouTube. I had some extra time, so I was like, all right, let's do this. And the computer that I was using was a laptop. It was just a very simple, like, folding. I don't even have it anymore because that's how horrible and old this thing was. I had a webcam on it, okay? There was a webcam in the laptop. Surprisingly, it wasn't that old. Like, they used to make laptops without webcams in them, believe it or not. But I had to record the screen from my game first and then put it onto my computer and then record my voice over on top of it, because my laptop wasn't strong enough to actually take both my gameplay as well as my voice at the same time and not lag and be horrible. So and also record it at the same time. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna make this work. I'm gonna make shift. I'm gonna problem solve. And that's the other thing, guys. There's gonna be problem after problem after problem after problem your entire career, and your ability to be resilient on solving each problem as it comes is going to be the level of success that you'll be able to achieve, period. So it's just very similar to entrepreneurship, where if you start your own business, there's going to be so many different obstacles along the way. And if you get to one obstacle and you're just like, I can't do it, period, then yeah, you're right, you actually can't do it. But there's always, let me tell you guys again, there is always a way to overcome the obstacle. That's the word I'm looking for. There's always a way to overcome the obstacle that is going to be in front of you. So I was like, I don't have a computer. Well, maybe I'll go get a job so that way I can go buy a computer, right? If that's the option. Well, hey, Clay, I don't have enough. I can't get a job right now. There's nobody hiring. Don't suck up your pride. I got a job at Sonic. Okay, I also got a job at Chipotle and Qdoba and Moe's. You guys can look those things up. They don't pay very well. They pay about minimum wage. And I think I got $1 more because I put in some extra effort and they liked me, so I got a little bit more. So that's one thing to go about getting a computer, because you definitely need a computer in order to start making content. So if that's what's holding you back, that's something you need to start. Get a job, okay? Get a normal job. And that is your first step to becoming a content creator, is getting a normal job, because you're gonna need it for quite some time, okay? Because I did. This is what I did, okay? So that was my first video. I put it up. I was memeing the whole time in it. I was just being like, I was not being myself, okay? You're not going to be yourself. The first time you point that camera on yourself, you are not going to be yourself. Trust me. So the camera's going to do something to you, and it's going to do something to you for a very long time. I'm talking years before you can actually be comfortable in front of a camera and truly be yourself. You might say, okay, well, I am being myself. I'm just being a better version or a more enthusiastic version of yourself. Well, honestly, I've seen some people and they just get really cringy in front of the camera, and that was me. I was very cringy in front of the camera I probably still am very cringy in front of the camera, actually, now that I think about it. So just don't worry about being self-conscious about yourself, okay? You're gonna want your hair to look perfect every single time you're on camera. You're gonna want, if you're gonna want your skin, your hair, your shirt. You're not gonna want like dog hair and stuff. Look, I got cat hair, whatever it might be. You're not gonna want that stuff, but trust me, you just gotta learn to be comfortable with it, and that is just going to come over time and doing it repeatedly over and over and over and over again. Okay, don't try to make your first video perfect, because that's a lot of people's issues, is they try to make their first video perfect. They try to do like all this editing, and they get overwhelmed, and they never end up posting their first video, and their journey ends right then and there. You just gotta start posting, okay? So I posted my first video, super cringe. You guys could probably even go back on this YouTube channel and find it. And that's the thing, right? Okay, again, everything that I'm saying is something that I've lived through in order to make $250,000 a year. You can go back and look at my entire journey, okay? Other people that are teaching how to be successful on YouTube, their first video is how to be successful on YouTube. And it's like, wait, so you're creating your audience off of teaching people how to be successful on YouTube? What? You're successful off YouTube by teaching people how to be successful? It doesn't make sense. Okay, anyway, enough of that. I'm probably going to bring it up because it just blows my mind sometimes when I think about it. But anyway, you can go back and look at like my first videos. Most of them are still there. I have deleted some of them as well for different PC reasons. I just wanted to keep my image clean, and back then I didn't really care too much about my image, and this is something that's really important later on as you start getting sponsorships, is having a very clean image. You can still be yourself, but the less you cuss, the more sponsorship opportunities you're going to have, okay? I cuss a lot in person. It's just how I am. But when I'm on camera, it's not that I'm not being myself. I'm just removing those words out of my vocabulary when I can. I still let some stuff drop every now and then, and that's okay. Most sponsorships and most companies are okay with that. But if you're doing something every single second, you're just being very overly passionate about something, you might just want to tone it back a little bit. Okay, so getting a little bit too far ahead of ourselves. So post your first video And so after I posted that first video, I started to get like an itch for it. I was like, oh wow, so like I got a few hundred views on it, and it started turning into like 1,000 views, and I got some comments back on it, and they weren't good, trust me, but just having the comments come back made me like want to do it better next time, so that way I could turn those comments into good comments. And I posted another video like maybe a week and a half or 2 weeks later, and those comments did not get any better. They came back and they hurt. Those comments, guys, they will hurt you a lot. And you will want to cry. It made my wife want to cry. I had a Reddit thread made about me, and it brought my wife into the whole scenario, and they were saying things about her, and they were saying things about me, and it made her cry. And it was pretty early on in my YouTube career, and she was like, you need to stop this. This is not worth it. And this is another obstacle that you guys will face. You guys are 100% going to face this, and I face this. And okay, I'm not going to say don't listen to the haters and just completely ignore them, because that is false. You don't want to do that. You want to actually listen to them, because honestly, some of them are probably right. Okay, there's some truth. You got to be able to find out which ones are, constructive and which ones aren't. If it's just somebody saying like F you, they don't give you any reason. But if they're saying like, I can't even listen to this guy, his microphone is garbage, then okay, maybe that's your first purchase. Buy a microphone. Okay, after you get your computer set up, get a microphone. And then the other one is like, wow, this person is really funny, but I can't really tell what they're doing because their webcam is so blurry. Just, make that your second purchase. You go buy a webcam. And so you just end up growing by listening to some of this feedback that you're getting from your comments. Even though they're not very good, they're still helping you grow as a streamer, as a YouTuber, and as a person. Because let me tell you, when I first started, I was a good person, okay? I was a good person. But I wasn't the person that I am today. I am so much stronger and so much more mature, and I have YouTube and my community and my following to thank for that. And honestly, it's just a really crazy thing to go back and look at your previous videos and to see how much you've grown. And you could go back, you can go, like, the cool thing is when you start your journey, you'll be able to go back and look at them, and you'll just have so much fun looking at that's why people do this all the time. You go back and you react to your old videos, because you'll just see like, wow, that was really me back then. And, or maybe, wow, I can't believe I acted like that on camera back then. And then it's like, to where you are as a person today, it's just so cool. It's so cool to see that whole path, okay? So that's what I did. I started making content, and I listened to some of the constructive feedback that I was getting, and I did the best I could to respond to people and engage with my community, and that's about it. So I slowly but surely posted more and more videos as I could using my janky setup, and then as I was making some money from ad revenue, which you're not going to be making a whole lot of right away, if any, but maybe if you're working your normal job, you then can start upgrading your setup. That's the thing. This is going to be a hobby that you're going to have to invest some money into in order to get it to where you want it to be, okay? I'm sure you're not going to want to be like Tyler One, where you've been doing this for 10, 15 years, however long he's done it for, and you're still using a microphone connected to your headset. Okay, yes, he owns that now, and that is his signature. But as someone who is trying to actually, stand out, you don't want to give people a reason to not watch you. Everything you do is going to give people a reason to not watch you, and that's just how it is. Tyler One is the exception. We're not basing our success off of being an exception. If you're an exception, congratulations, you don't need to watch this anyway. So exceptions can leave. Let's talk about the people who are the rule, and let's be honest with people who are the rule. I bet you 99.9% of you people are going to be the rule. So focus on upgrading your gear and don't try to make money at it. Okay, we're still not making money at it. We're still just growing our audience, doing it because we like to do it, having fun, interacting with them, creating a community around something that you love to do. And what I did personally was I stuck with the same video game, video after video after video after video after video, and I never varied. I never wavered. I made different content every now and then, but the quickest way to kill your momentum is by making content on one game and then stopping. Because everybody that's been watching you for that one game is going to be like, well, he doesn't play the same game as I do anymore. And trust me when I tell you, viewers are only going to be watching you if they have an interest in it. And I hate to say this, but it's true. They don't care about you. They just care about what you can give them. To most of them, you're just going to be someone on a screen telling them how to complete something in a game or how to do something, or maybe just some entertainment, but they're not going to have any sort of loyalty to you if you start making different types of content that they don't enjoy it. They're just going to up and leave. Sometimes it's a good thing though. Sometimes it's good to switch games because that has more potential, and we'll get into that later on in my tutorial videos. But for now, just play a game that you enjoy, make content on it, get used to it, and build your audience from that game. Okay, I built my audience off of a game that was a very niche audience. I wasn't trying to build my audience off of Fortnite or Call of Duty, League of Legends, whatever the biggest game is you guys can think of with viewership. You're thinking, oh, maybe I can get a small piece of the Fortnite pie and I'll be a big streamer compared to everybody else. Well, the better thing to do is to be a big fish in a small pond. Being a small fish in a big pond, you just get eaten. Being a big fish in a small pond, you run that place, and then also a lot of extra opportunities come from that bigness. Okay? Be a big fish in a small pond. That's how I did it, and that's how I would recommend you guys to do it. If you try to be a small fish in a big pond, it's going to be a long time before you grow up enough in order to take on those other big fish. Okay? You just want to be the big fish. Trust me. You want to be the big fish, okay? So after I started gaining my audience, I started realizing, hey, I'm actually making a couple $100 every month. This was like maybe a year into this. I was making content on a daily basis after I got home from the gym and working a full-time job. Sometimes I had 2 jobs that I was working. I always wanted to work a lot, okay, because that's how my parents were like, hey, you gotta get a job. So I did, right? And you really just want to make sure that you have that stability in your life, and you never want to just say, I'm gonna go dive into content creation, I'm gonna do this full time, and not actually be making money from it yet. Because if you take some of your time after work, when it's your hobby, like what do you do when you get home from work? You go home and play video games. Okay, perfect. So what do you do when you get home from work? You go home and play video games, but you record yourself, and then you take some time afterwards to then edit it and put it up. Okay? That's the way you want to think of it, as this is your free time and you're making videos in your free time. This is not like, oh, I'm going to work and then I come home and then I have to do this when I get home from work and work more. No, this is what you enjoy to do. This is your hobby. This is your way to relax and unwind and settle down before you have to go to bed and wake up and do it all over again. Or even if it's not work, it's school. Like I also was going to school full time. I enrolled back in college once I got back to Virginia after dropping out from college in Massachusetts for hockey. And I started going back to school as well as working, and then I came home and then I messed around, made some content. So eventually, like I said, I started making a couple $100 a month, and I know this story is getting a lot longer than you probably thought it was, but I hope you guys are enjoying the information that's in it, okay? So I just want to let you guys know that I'm aware that this is dragging on, but at the same time, if you're listening, you're still getting a lot of information, trust me. So after I was making about a couple $100s a month, I was like, okay, shoot, like this is actually, this could be something. And I was still working. I was still going to school full time. And I did this continuously for about another year and a half. Okay, this time frame varies depending on who you are, your personality, how much time you put into it. It depends on so many different things. You could be doing this for a lot longer, and you could be doing this for a lot shorter. But working full time, going to school, whatever it might be, and then in addition, making content to it, this phase could last a varying amount of time before you can then start cutting back your full-time job and supplementing that income with YouTube money. Okay? So for me, I did it for about a year and a half, making content full-time. I gained about 30,000 subscribers on YouTube, which isn't a whole lot. And I was making about $600 a month just on ad revenue. Okay? Far cry from 250K, I know. So this is $600 a month on ad revenue. Now, the magical thing happened where I started getting emails, which is something you guys need to make sure that you have in your YouTube channel, but don't worry about it. Just put it there. Don't feel like this is something that needs to happen quickly, because it's not going to. You just need to let it come. Is to have a business email attached to your YouTube channel. And I'll help you guys do this throughout my course as well. But you need to have that there, because in order for companies to reach out to you, they have to be able to contact you. So make sure your email is 1, professional, but 2, easy to find. So don't make it, something crazy with the number 69 in it and trying to meme out or whatever. Make it professional, where if you were the owner of a company and you saw this person's email and this person's username and you see their content, that you would want to partner with them because you know that they're going to be brand safe. And it's not saying oh, Clay, you're telling me to be brand safe, but that's not me. Sure, okay, if you don't want to be brand safe, that's your prerogative. But I'm telling you, if you're not brand safe compared to if you are brand safe, not being brand safe, you'll have to work probably, I want to say almost 100 times harder than someone who is brand safe to make the same amount of money. I know this isn't necessarily all about money, but it is, because it's the title of this video, $0 to $250,000. I would not be making $250,000 at the size channel that I am without being brand safe. If I was trying to be brand safe, if I wasn't trying to be brand safe and trying to make $250,000, how much more subscribers would I have to have? I'd probably have to have 1 million. So maybe 10 times more. Maybe not 100 times more, but 10 times more work. Or it's hard to put into the times reference, but you understand, right? Because $600 on ad revenue stayed about the same for another year. And that is not okay with me to make a living off of. I like to live a little bit more comfortably than $600 a month. So I then started getting emails to me saying, hey, can you promote our product? We'll give you this much money. And it was not a lot at first. Okay, my first deal was somebody telling me they'll pay me $5 per download that I got if I promoted their game. I think it was something with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was a mobile game, and I did it, and I got 3 downloads, and I made $15, and I was like, I'm getting paid to play video games. And I thought it was super cool because, again, I wasn't doing this to make money. I was just like, hey, that's awesome. But I was very professional with them. I was very, very responsive, and I was doing everything that they asked me without trying to be difficult to work with. Okay, that's another problem that people get into, is they're difficult to work with. Why? Why do you have to be difficult to work with? Be professional. Be someone that companies enjoy going to you with. These companies that make these games, guys, they have a lot of money, okay? And if you are easy and professional to work with, guarantee you they're going to want to use you again, okay? It's not just a one-time deal. You build a relationship with that development company, and when they bring a new game out, or they have a new update in that game that you're promoted, they're going to say, hey, you know what? That Claytano guy, he was a great guy to work with, and we should use him again. He may not have had the best conversion, but he was really easy, and he's not going to try to haggle us for $5 extra, you know? So I would also say, if someone comes to you with a deal, you don't need to haggle it, guys. You don't. You guys might be here already, where you're getting sponsorship opportunities. Trust me, I've been on both sides. Okay, I have friends, and very, very close friends, who actually own talent agencies, which are the bridge from developers to YouTubers and Twitch content creators, that will not work with people because they always haggle the prices. That means that if they say, okay, so as a talent agency, say I'm a talent agency, I have Square Enix come to me, right? Creators of Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy goes to me as a talent agency and says, hey, we want you to spend this much budget, find us some influencers and build a campaign for us that advertises to a lot of people. And then the talent agency goes and looks for a bunch of YouTubers, and they have to pick a whole bunch of people. And they come down the list, and they're like, you know, blah, 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 Claytano, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, Claytano, man, this campaign, Final Fantasy, Square Enix, they want to get this turned around by tomorrow. He's gonna want to haggle these prices. He's gonna want to, he's gonna want to change what they want, and he's gonna have an issue with everything before he actually gets some content out for them. So let's cross him off the list and let's go to the next person. You don't want to be that guy. You want to be the guy that's like, hey, I'm gonna use this guy. I'm just gonna throw him something. He's gonna have it done, and then I'm gonna move on to the next person. Because as a talent agency, you don't want to worry about that. But as a YouTuber, you need to make sure that you're on the good side of the list, not the bad side. Because if you're on the good side, you get that quick deal. That could be literally thousands of dollars. Or it could be crossed off the list because you haggled the last time, and you might have made $50 to $100 more on the last one, but you missed out on that $1,000 deal because you haggled last time, and you're difficult to work with. Don't be difficult to work with, okay? So for me, I didn't know that. I was just happy taking whatever deals came in because, again, it was just a hobby for me, and I always thought it was just fun to say that I was making money playing video games by promoting these other games to my viewers. My viewers, people say, oh, well, if you make sponsorships, then you're selling out. I didn't see it that way. I always thought just like, hey guys, here's a game that they wanted to sponsor me for. And I think something really cool that's happened since I started is that Mr. Beast actually made it really cool to get sponsored. And I really appreciate the way Mr. Beast has revolutionized the scene, because he actually takes that sponsorship money and puts it into something awesome, right? He gives it to homeless people, and he does really cool things with it. And I think Mr. Beast is a genius, and if you guys can take some pages out of his book, I really recommend it. It just makes the world a better place. And I think Mr. Beast, he was someone that really, like I said, revolutionized the whole sponsored video thing. And don't take that for granted. Do your sponsorship videos, but also understand that you can do good with that money that's coming in, okay? That's why I always do giveaways. I always donate to charities and other things like that. And it doesn't always have to be public, guys. You don't always have to have an audience for when you donate to charity. You could just take the money, give it to charity. You don't always have to say, I'm giving to charity. I'm going to give this money to charity. No, just give it to charity. What's the reason? You want people to know you're giving it to charity? Is that what it is? No, just give it to charity. Okay? All right, moving on. So I take the deals, right? And then eventually they started getting a little bit better and better. And I'll never forget, I was sitting at my desk. I worked at Geico as an insurance service agent in the RV department. Very specific, guys. And I was sitting at my desk and I had an email come in, and it said, hey, Clay, we're going to give you this Final Fantasy deal if you can get it to us by tonight. Okay, I used this reference earlier, but it's actually a true story. It was a Final Fantasy sponsorship that was going to pay me 2 times my monthly salary at Geico. I was working full time at Geico, making a decent amount of money, like, well, probably two times to 3 times more than minimum wage per hour. And this deal was going to pay me 2 times my monthly salary. And I was like, I have to do this tonight. And I looked around, saw my supervisor, and I was like, hey, I'm not feeling too good. I'm gonna head home because this deal had me sick. And I went home and I made the video and I put it up. I didn't haggle with the prices. I just put it up. And that company was a talent agency that was using Square Enix as their client and then using me in that campaign, right? So there's once removed, okay? And that talent agency, guys, is the reason behind all of my success in today's age. Period. If I wouldn't have been a professional person, if I wasn't professional and if I wasn't responsive and if I wasn't, easy to work with that talent agency, I might not have anything that I have today. And it's all because of your attitude and being just a good person. Just be a good person. Okay. So yeah, I didn't haggle. I probably could have. I know friends that had the same thing, same deal. They haggled, they got a little bit more, and later on down the road, since I became friends with this talent agency, they weren't too, pleased with that, and they haven't worked with them since. So it just goes to show you that it's true. What I'm telling you guys is true. There's no BS to what I'm telling you guys. I don't have a bunch of flashy things coming up on the screen other than this monitor on the computer behind me that's trying to keep your guys' attention. This is a no BS class. I honestly don't even want to edit these videos because I just want to give you guys the information as raw and as clean as you guys can get it. Okay? So, this talent agency is a talent agency by the name of Adder. Okay? A-D-E-R. Adder. And a few months later, they approached me and started saying that they wanted to sign me as an exclusive talent underneath them, where they would be able to pull me for any campaigns that they have come up, and they would take a cut. They're always taking a cut, guys. Talent agencies make their money by taking a cut of your money that they give you. But again, we're not greedy. We're still not greedy because we're just doing this as a hobby, and we just want to, we just want to be easy to work with and make content. That's it. So they take a cut. Sure, you guys deserve it. I probably wouldn't have had this deal if it wasn't for you. Sure, you want 20%, you want 30%, whatever. Fine, okay? So then, I thought about it, and this was something very new for them. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. So it was me and a couple other guys that were part of this initial signing. And one of them was Corparian. Okay, if you guys don't know him, he's a big Hearthstone streamer. So I'm signed under this talent agency that is now massive, guys. They are a massive talent agency. They have a ton of people. And you would think, Clay, well, if you're a part of this massive talent agency now with a ton of huge streamers and YouTubers, how are you getting any deals? Well, one, I'm easy to work with. And two, it's even easier to get deals because these big name content creators that are big fish, me, little fish, well, big fish in a small pond, but they're just big fish in big ponds, right? They're getting so many eyes from different companies wanting to sponsor them, and they're too busy. So they're like, I can't do this. I can't do this one. I'm already doing this one. And so they pass down all these other things. And within the talent agency, they're like, well, we have all of these exclusive talent, meaning me, that are easy to work with. So let's just toss them this deal. Let's toss them this deal because we'd rather get 20% off of a little deal than, not getting anything, right? Because as a talent agency, the deal comes into those big fish. The big fish decline. The talent agency doesn't make any money if they don't run any campaign with their talent. So then they say, okay, well, I can't give you this guy with 1 million subscribers, but I can give you 10 people with 100,000 subscribers. You understand how this is working? Okay, good. So, and then you just start to roll in deal after deal after deal after deal after deal. And before you know it, you're flying all over the world, experiencing different things that you never thought you would ever experience before. You're commentating in front of millions of people for $1 million auto chess tournament in Shanghai, China. You're flying next day to Sweden to commentate a tournament. You just, so many opportunities are just, your life has just changed as you know it. And that is literally as easy as that. Obviously, there's a bunch of little steps along the way that you guys are going to need to take, and a lot of obstacles that you're going to need to overcome. And I, for one, have made a lot of mistakes. So if there's someone that you can learn from on what not to do, that is definitely where I succeed in as well. So I will also let you guys know all the things that you want to stay away from, want to avoid. And again, this is coming from somebody that's already done this. And now you're thinking, well, Clay, now you're just trying to be like everybody else and build your audience off of teaching people how to build their audience. And honestly, no. I took the money that I've been making from YouTube and I've invested it into several businesses to diversify my income, and I am fine now. I again am wanting to go back because it turned into a job for me. Making content turned into a job for me because it was my full-time job. Okay, I started making money from the sponsorships. I then went part-time at my job at Geico and started streaming on Twitch. By the way, this is a whole nother lesson, but I started streaming on Twitch because I went part-time at my job at Geico, so I had more time. I didn't just, watch Netflix, unless that's like what you want to make your content on, but I didn't just like waste that time not doing anything. I went part-time at Geico, and then I started a Twitch channel and I streamed every single day. Every single day. I had a schedule and I stuck to it. Schedules are a whole nother thing as well. If you don't stick to your schedule, no one's going to believe when you're going live or when they're not going live. So I stuck to a schedule and I just went for it. And I just put more work into it. And then as I put more work into it, I was able to quit my job at Geico completely and then just work more, like play video games more, stream more. And by streaming more, I was then increasing my value to sponsor opportunities. So if they come to me and say, hey Clay, we want you to make a sponsored video on our game on YouTube. And then I say, well, hey, if you give, I have Twitch as well. If you give me a little bit more, I can do something on Twitch as well for you. It's not haggling. It's just saying, hey, I can bring more value if you want to use both my platforms. And then you say, oh, well, guess what? I also have a Twitter and an Instagram that if you want to give me a little bit more, then I can also post on that. Again, it's not haggling. It's not saying, oh, well, you're going to pay me this much for a YouTube video. Well, I want this much for a YouTube video. No, it's saying, hey, guys, I can bring you more value if you want to activate this. And a lot of this is done from my talent agency anyway before they even bring it to me now, where they say, hey, Clay's got like all of this stuff that he can post on now, and it just increases the amount that you make per deal, per campaign, per sponsorship. And by doing that, it maximizes and almost doubles, triples, quadruples what you're worth because of all those other social media platforms, okay? I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm missing. I honestly know that there's a lot more to it. There is a ton more to it, but I want this video to be inspiring, and I want you guys to learn from it. Oh, going back to why I said, diversifying my profit, right? So diversifying my profit, you're probably thinking, well, Clay, you just want to build your audience off of teaching me how to build an audience. No, I'm getting back to me from making this my full-time job. I'm getting back to just doing this as a hobby because I've invested into other things, and I just want it to kind of not necessarily hand off the torch, because I still love what I do and I still enjoy my community and the people that are still loyal and watch me. I'm not handing off the torch, but I'm like, I just want to give other people the same experiences that I have had and have had the opportunity to have. This is just me giving back, and giving this information from a different perspective that I don't know is out there. I've looked for it on YouTube, and I haven't seen somebody who has already been successful on YouTube then teach people how they became successful, rather than being successful on YouTube and then rather than teaching people how to be successful on YouTube to become successful on YouTube through what they're actually teaching, okay? Again, through what they're actually teaching is how they got successful. That is not something that I've seen on the platform yet, which is why I feel like I want to bring you guys a different perspective, okay? Again, thank you guys for watching. If you got this far, I really appreciate it. And at this point, now you can go ahead and like the video and subscribe if you want to see more. And I would really appreciate it if you guys do, because it makes me feel good and it makes me want to make more videos, because again, I just do this for a hobby, but I want you guys' true opinions on it. So don't hold back. All right. Aside from that, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, stay soupy, don't be potatoes, and I'll see you guys next time. All right. Peace.